And what about the impact on the title race? Do you think the gap is 9 points? City have a game in hand, but they play each other crucially.
I think Man City have let themselves down with a couple of results of late, and I think there's enough breathing space for Arsenal right now in terms of this not affecting them too much mentally in terms of the Premier League. They've got a great lead. Yes, if they lose at Man City, it could be on. Of course, it could be. But I think it was a lot tighter. It would play into it a little bit more. But I think what we saw today, and one of the criticisms I have of Arsenal as a team, as I said, they're the best team in the league. They've only lost 4 games in 50. Let's not get too carried away. Let's not forget that. But in terms of not so much the league, but maybe the Champions League, because they're on the right side of the draw and they've got a great opportunity in the Champions League. But that today, I was looking at it again, and I've said it consistently, they lack something really special in their attack. A world-class talent who could have just turned that game for them. They definitely lack that. I think the big players for Manchester City, especially in the middle of the park, took it upon themselves to take the game to Arsenal in terms of Rodri, in terms of Bernardo Silva, getting on the ball and playing. And I've said this before about Arsenal, they're a fantastic team, but they do lack maybe that little bit of quality. I've said before, they lack for me, I think they lack special players at the top end of the pitch. I've always felt that. And those players couldn't get on the ball and actually stop the relentlessness of Manchester City. It was just wave after wave after wave of attack, and they just couldn't quell it. And a lot of that was down, as I said, to Rodri and Bernardo Silva, who were absolutely fantastic.
And there was a sense that perhaps a goal was coming, and maybe it would happen with a mistake. And that is exactly what happened.
Well, it was Nico O'Reilly, who I think was 21 yesterday. But listen, credit to Pep Guardiola, he's shown huge faith in him. But when you actually watch the game, and even the first half, there was a big difference between your left back for Manchester City and the right back. It was 2 different roles. So Núñez was almost playing as a third centre-back, or backing up the play in possession. Nico O'Reilly was trying to get between the lines. And that was a different tactic. But you just look at him now, keep an eye on him. He wants that ball played in here. He wants it. Look, he's disappointed. He wanted that ball in there from Rodri. Doesn't get it. But when you talk about the difference in the team, we know Arsenal are probably a lot more structured. I wouldn't say Man City play off the cuff, but there's a lot more interchanging in the players. So, central midfield player on the right wing. Your right winger in the centre-forward position. Centre-forward in the number 10. And your left back in a left wing, left midfield position. So you have a lot more interchanging positions and a lot more sort of freedom, I would say. But what you've got in this situation here is Nico O'Reilly at the back post. Listen, the goalkeeper has an absolute shocker, huge mistake. And we'll get to him shortly. But